you measure what you value in a society, right? That's why the GDP, quarterly, we hear NPR say, these are the earnings. I don't hear quarterly from NPR, this is how many black males were shot in our country. But we do hear about our earnings quarterly. We're starting to hear more about our black male youth, but I'll talk about that in a moment. And so this new paradigm that Juan Carlos is offering is going to measure something different, right? We're going to measure our culturally resilient assets from our communities. And I say we will because we will get there. Us as a community will get there. And I want Juan Carlos to understand that Minnesota's quiet, but there's a lot of revolutionaries in this room. And let me tell you why I'm calling. I don't give people titles without some evidence. The evidence is something called the DREAM Act. And 15 years ago, in a little room, when I was running a youth agency, we started talking about this crazy bill that was passed in Texas called the Texas DREAM Act. So we started telling folks in our community, have you heard about this? They say undocumented youth can't go to college, but guess what? In Texas, they're doing it. And they might even get them financial aid. I had a lot of leaders in my own community, Latinos, say, Jennifer, that will never happen. That will never happen because this country is so racist and, they've excluded Native Americans from education, they've excluded black people, they're going to exclude us next. And alongside, and I'm not just pandering, this is very true, alongside in this movement in 2001 at La Escuelita were white youth workers, Latino youth workers, and families and children. But I remember the faces of the white youth workers. And they said, what do we need to do, Jennifer? We're here. We're here for this huge transformation to this new paradigm. And so the paradigm shifted. Now they even talk about it in political debates. I love it. I love it when Republicans talk about the DREAM Act. Because I'm like, you know what? Mary Sue from Roseville was talking about it in 2001. But that's cool. That's fine. And so my reflection, I guess, is something bigger. As speakers, you have to bring something bigger. And as a Latina and a Latino, I got to bring something bigger than Juan Carlos. How do we build culturally resilient communities? We are all part of this community. We've done great work with DREAM Act, great work with the Bully Act, GLBT youth, and getting their respect. You all did that too. You all did that too. We're failing around the continual criminalization of black male youth. And so what I offer is, we're still a part of this struggle. There's also hopeful tension, right? And a lot of hopefulness comes in my brother's keeper, work being done in St. Paul with black elders, black youth, and hopefully with the suspension rate campaign, we've had the superintendent of Minneapolis schools actually put a moratorium on the suspension rates for nonviolent behavior of little ones. And every time we brag about that, people say, we were suspending 5-year-olds. We were. And we were all witness to that. And so I guess I also feel this urgency about what tools can you walk away from. I have 3 of people like to take notes and stuff like that. One is definitely, please, I wanted to honor our director of the Solutions Not Suspensions campaign, Marika. She's in the back. We're both wearing hot pink, so you can find us. We're honored to have Marika join our staff and continue that movement, that campaign. We're tied to the National Dignity in Schools campaign, so please talk to Marika. You as youth workers should join that campaign. 2, this is something I've put on myself. I've been noticing, we all have our biases, right? I'm really following a lot of biographies of folks. Pick up the biography of a Somali young woman. Pick up a biography of a Hmong woman. But then at Thanksgiving, when you're with your crazy folks that are wondering why you don't get a real job, why you're still a youth worker, I still get those questions. So tell them about what you've read. Tell them about a child that you've helped. Tell them about their parents, and tell them about their struggles so that when they go to the voting box in November, that's before Thanksgiving. So if you see your family at Halloween, telling everybody stories about what makes up this country is so critical to getting to that new paradigm. And it's about political action. It's about great activities at school, things that motivate kids, and it's also about the ballot box. I think you're all sophisticated enough to know that, at DREAM Act as an example. So tell the story. And then last, find a school leader who is open to hearing about the new paradigm. So there's going to be a lot of reform groups. There's MinCan, there's a lot of groups out there, Generation Next, and we're all deciding what we're going to measure, because we're all realizing we're not quite measuring everything that we should be. The decision makers that will decide on that tool, that I have 200% belief in, the tool that Juan Carlos presented, but I could tell you right now, there are tons of leaders in small rooms, sometimes made up of just 3 people, who will decide on what tools to use.